Hi folks, this is Dan from Construction Talk and Toolser TV. We are on another repair. This is Father's Day 2017. This is how I like to spend my day off. All kidding aside, I really don't mind. But yeah, here's this particular leak. The interesting thing about this leak is it's in a field. Okay, I'm going to explain a couple things. On a roof, you've got that's the edge, or that's where the fascia would be. And a real good indicator of whether or not you have a leak is you approach and look at the fascia around the whole house. See right there's some staining on the wood. Right there. If you see that on your house, chances are very good you've got a leak somewhere in the progression, somewhere up in the top of that roof. Sometimes it might be lower, sometimes it will be higher, but it's going to be a leak. What happened in this particular case, because it's leaking in the field, and the field is just a general flat part of the roof, it almost never leaks there. Almost never. Unless of extenuating circumstances, it almost will never leak in there. Roofs generally will leak where there's penetration sticking through, like that vent, and there's another pipe right there behind the roofer guy. There's another vent there where that valley comes down. These are places, if it was going to leak, those are the weak places in the roof, because the water has to change directions, or it has to meet an obstacle, and it makes it difficult for the water to get off the roof, and eventually it does fail and it causes leaks, and then they call me. This particular one, because it's a field leak, means one of two things. The first thing it could be is a problem. In this particular one, it's a problem with something I'm going to get into in a minute. If it's happening just in the general area of the roof and you start getting leaks in this field area for no good reason, it's time for a new roof, generally. You might be pressure cleaning it too much. You might be using chlorine, which I tell everybody, do not use chlorine on your roofs. Your roofs have a lot of metal components in them that you do not see, but they're there. And I can tell when a person uses a lot of chlorine, because the drip edge will be rusty, or these vents will be rusty. And that's only because that chlorine absolutely oxidizes the daylights out of everything. Back to why this roof is leaking. This roof is leaking because when they were installing these tiles, they were installed with nails. They nailed them on. Not my favorite way to do it. There's other systems which are adhesives, like polyfoam. Even the screw I prefer to a nail, because the screw at least works its way into the wood. A nail just kind of is an explosive action, and it tends to blow out the plywood. So what happened on this one was, when they were nailing the tiles down, they stuck a nail right into the seam between the two pieces of plywood, so the nail had nothing to grab onto. It just actually just poked a hole through the roofing membrane. It had no wood to seal around it. Because of that unfortunate nail, that nail eventually leaked. This roof is probably, I'd say, 12 to 13 years old, and it's in relatively good shape. But again, the problem with this one, and this is a concrete tile roof, it's not a barrel tile. Very few barrel tiles in South Florida, by the way, or anywhere except in Europe. But everybody does call this a barrel tile. I don't want to get off the topic here, but with this concrete tile roof, that nail went right in between the two pieces of plywood. There's a seam right there, and when that happens, that nail's got no way of sealing itself, and eventually it will leak, and that's what happened on this house. So we're demoing it out. We're going to keep following up that water. What we do is we cut the paper and we follow it up until we stop seeing water, and then we know we've gotten to the top of the leak. So at any rate, this is Dan. I'll get back on this one in a little bit once we get everything sussed out and figure out what's going on. This is Dan from Construction Talk, and let's get to it.